Hello everybody, my name is Samantha McCarthy and I work with Clare Local Development Company on the Social Inclusion and Community Activation Programme. SICAP is a programme that can support you to become more confident when job seeking. If you are unemployed, we can help you with preparing job applications, getting ready for the interview, seeking out training opportunities that will make you more competitive when looking for jobs. And also we can help you around this area of self-employment if this is something that you have been looking at. Today's video, which is the first in a series of videos, will look at what you should start thinking about when putting pen to paper to write your CV. What is it that the employer wants to look at when they are sifting through many CVs? How are you going to make yourself stand out? At the end of the video, you will be directed to some more information about the Social Inclusion and Community Activation Programme. Have a look at it, and if there's anything else that we can help you with, we would be more than happy to do so. You should also have a look at Clare Local Development Company's website. It contains lots of information about the various other supports that can be offered throughout the company. At the very end of the presentation, you will be given some information about the team members within the Social Inclusion and Community Activation Programme who can help you further with your job seeking. Don't ever hesitate to contact us. We will do everything that we can to help, and we wish you all the very best of luck in your job seeking journey.
The topics covered in today's lesson include what is a CV, the proposed content to include in your CV, addressing any gaps that you may have in your CV, talking down through a sample CV, and finally some key guidelines when developing your CV. In terms of what is a CV, so your curriculum vitae, or otherwise known as CV, is a clear summary of your work experience, your education, and your skill set. The purpose of a CV is to convince the prospective employer to invite you to the next stage of the recruitment process. Regarding the content in your CV, so there are generally 7 sections which make up a CV, and these include your contact details, your personal profile, your employment history, your educational background, any additional trainings or qualifications that you may have, your personal achievements, hobbies and interests, and finally your references. In terms of the first section, your contact details. So here you include your full name, your home address, your email address, your phone number, and finally your LinkedIn URL should you have a LinkedIn account. The next section underneath that is your personal profile. So this is a short paragraph highlighting your qualifications, experience, and specific skill sets. It is generally 3 to 4 sentences in length. Following on from your personal profile, you then go into detail on your employment history. Okay, so you start with your most recent, include the company name, the job title, and the period of employment. And for each of your past employers, you detail your duties and responsibilities for each of your roles. You can also emphasize what you achieved in each of those roles. Following on from that section, you then go into detail on your education. So once again, start with the most recent, include the provider's or the institution's name, the course title, and finally the years it took to complete. If you are still in education, you can go into further detail on the modules that you are currently completing. Regarding the next section, so section 5, here you note down any additional trainings or qualifications that you may have completed. So these could include Microsoft Office packages such as Word or Excel training. It could be noting down that you have a clean driving license, if you've completed a manual handling course, or it could just include any in-house trainings that you may have completed with any of your past employers. The next section then is section 6, and that is your personal achievements, hobbies and interests. So here you can note down any significant achievements that you may have in relation to sports, volunteering, community work, and also you can note down your key hobbies and interests. Section 7 then is your references. So if you are currently in employment, you can put down referees available upon request. If not, you can include the name of the referee, their position, the company name, and the contact details of the individual. So that is their phone and email address. Choose 2 referees at minimum who you work directly for. So that could be the company owner, a supervisor, or a manager. And it is very important to ask for permission from the referee to use their details. In terms of any gaps in your CV, so gaps can be quite common. Here you can try and highlight any upskilling, volunteering or further training you may have completed during your time out of employment. It is best to put down the gaps on the CV rather than leaving the employer guessing. So I've given an example. You may have taken time out to rear a young family, and I've just put in the dates there. So from 2006 to 2011. Okay, so just to talk down through a sample CV based on the information I have already gone through for each section. So here you can see you start off with your name, your home address, your email address, your contact phone number, and should you have a LinkedIn account, you could also put a URL link to that here. Following on from that then, you can see that there is a couple of sentences there regarding your personal profile. Okay, so moving on from your personal profile then, we have the next section, which is your employment history. So here you can see that the name of the company is noted down, the years in which you worked there, and then the role title. And then following on from that, all of the duties and responsibilities are listed there. Underneath that section then, we always recommend to put in a section on key achievements for that particular role. So here it's to highlight any key achievements you had within the role, be it a project you worked on, if you happen to exceed any targets, something along those lines that really highlights what you achieved while you worked there to make you stand out from the next person applying for the particular role. Okay, so once you have noted down all of your past work experience in the structure highlighted in the last slide, you will then move on to the next section, which is on your education. So here, once again, you note down the name of the course or degree you may have completed, the years it took, and also where you completed it, be it a college, an institution. You could also highlight here any final year project you may have worked on or a dissertation, something which further highlights a project that you worked on as part of that course. So you do that for all of your education, right down to potentially your Leaving Cert. It depends on the level of experience you have. And then underneath that section, you can highlight any additional qualifications, and this could be more specific to the industry that you are working in. The next section of your CV is where you can note down any additional skills or qualifications that you may have. This could include the likes of Microsoft Office Word or Excel. Following on from that then, you can note down any key interests or achievements that you have. Finally, please make note of 2 referees, include their name, their role, the company in which they work, their email address, and finally their contact phone number. Finally, some key guidelines. So ideally your CV should be no more than 2 pages. It should always be typed using the same font size and colour throughout the whole document. Use subheadings for each of the different sections. Use bullet points throughout the CV. Ensure it is well structured, clear and easy to read. Make sure there are no spelling or grammar mistakes. That is very important. And finally, ensure that it is fully up to date. Thank you for listening to this lesson on how to create a winning CV. The next session will talk you through tailoring your generic CV when applying for different jobs. In the meantime, as mentioned earlier, please do visit the Clare Local Development Company's website at cldc.ie to find out more information on the SICAP programme. Also, please reach out to Samantha and her colleagues for further supports using the contact details on the screen. The very best of luck with your CV.